Welcome to
Hello.
another. Hello, everybody. Hello. Nice to have you all on board.
Thank you for having.
For having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This is another series. This is another series of the Alkebulan Awakening. Today, we're all excited. You see, there's so many of us on the screen today. We're up. We are a community, and I'm excited, man. I'm kind of keep my cheek together, not get too carried away, but I'm excited. We have Kumbu Kenny here, other guys from Kumbu Kenny. Yeah, we're all linked up together. So basically, a powerful community today. But today is so important because what we're promoting today is Afrocentrism, Afro-Centric Education. We are talking about solutions to the African educational system. Okay, as always, my name is Olade Dosumu. My co-host will introduce herself, and all the kids will introduce themselves. And so once we've done that, then we're just gonna go into the topic, have a conversation, have fun, chill, and then if you have any questions, anything you want to ask, please guys put on the chat. First and foremost, Unduku, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Habari gani, karibuni, asanteni kwa kuwa nasi. Thank you all for being here. Kumbukeni members, I hope you're all joining us. Please come and show some support on this side. Again, I'm a Kenyan woman, an African woman, Mwana Ubuntu, a child of the spirit of Ubuntu, joining my brother to tell the African story from an African perspective, our Ubuntu story from the African perspective. Countering the false narrative that the West has propagated against us for years and centuries. All right. Happy to have the children with us. Happy to have this school that is showing through action what we can do and not just talking about it. So very happy to be here and to have a again, like I commended them, a Pan-African couple joining us and showing us how it's done. So asanteni.
We're grateful to be here.
All right, kids, you want to go first? Oh yeah, you wanna introduce yourself? Say who you are.
Namwanya?
You want to start with
Aya and Jose. Jose, you want to introduce yourself? Say hello.
Hello.
Hi, Asia.
Aya, how are you? Tell us your names. Tell us your names.
My name is Asia.
Thanks.
Baraka Sitwe.
And
My
Malik,
name
what? Okay.
is Asia.
Thank you very much.
She might have more to tell us. Let us. She seems like she wants to tell us more.
And my name is Mele.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Malik. Thanks, my dear. Okay, let's go to the next kid. We'll come back to you. Abdul and Nadia, introduce yourselves. Hello, Abdul.
My name is Abdul. I'm in grade 8 currently. Hi. And this is my sister Nadia.
My name is Nadia and I am in grade 3.
Thank you very much, guys. And also, Baraka and what's the name?
Baraka and
Namwanya.
Namwenya and Baraka.
My name is Namwenya and I'm in grade 6. And this is my sister, my brother Baraka. I'm in PT1.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Karibu.
Okay, let's go to the power couple then. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, introduce yourselves, tell us about your background, how you started this, and basically straight into the topic.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Utheri. I'm an educationist, and I'm the principal and co-founder of Children in Freedom. And you can see me melting when these children are talking. My heart is with the children. So we are so privileged to be here, to have our children from as young as Asia and Baraka, who are 4 years old, up to Abdul and Gumi, I think will be joining us, who are now, I think, 13 years old. So it's wonderful. Maybe I let Oku introduce himself, and then we can tell you a bit about us.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Kekonume. Ekenemonu. Moabu Kanayo. Egbeni. Moasi from Delta State, Nigeria. And I'm Igbo. and I'm so pleased to be here with my lovely wife doing a great job in Africa.
Okay, so my husband is Nigerian, I'm Kenyan, and we are living our dream in Kenya for starters, but going all the way to Africa in due course. So we run what is we believe is the first Afro-centric school, Africa-centered school. And why we're saying it's the first, I know people have different aspects of Africa-centeredness, but we've totally institutionalized it. From how we talk, how we call ourselves, how we dress. It's a whole school approach from the gate. Every staff, every teaching and staff having the mentorship of the greatness of the African, the wellness and the conquering spirit of the African. It trickles from all staff to all children, everything. The air we breathe when you enter our school, the culture is very Ubuntu and very Africa conscious. So we are 6 years old. And before then, I think because we met in 2013, and that's where it all started. And at the time, we were living in Cambridge in the UK, and we were supporting children from afar, children in Kenya who were part of some research work I was doing. I was an academic with the University of Cambridge. My husband here is a software engineer. He was a senior technician, software engineer with Hewlett Packard. And we were supporting children back in Kenya. And that was what was making us tick. Like, it made us feel so fulfilled to know that because of our effort, someone has gone to school, someone has eaten, someone has gotten clothes to wear. And one day my husband said, you know what, we're living in the UK and we just have a glass ceiling. Yes, we are receiving wonderful salaries, but are we going to be those people who know what they're supposed to do with their lives and not do it? Or are we going to take the risk and go and do what? And what that meant was so bad, so badly serious for us, because it meant quitting our jobs, living a comfortable lifestyle, and coming back to Kenya to support the children that were already in our program. And that's what we did. In 2013, we quit our jobs and came back to Kenya and set up what is now Children in Freedom. Children in Freedom was originally just a scholarship program. And this was scholarship children through our research work. They started from 11 children, went to 16. Now we have helped over 300 children. And when we were on the ground, remember we were supporting them across the seas. When we are on the ground, that's when we really understood the assignment. Let me tell you, you don't know what it takes until you're there hands-on trying to do it. So maybe I can ask Oku to continue from there. What did we see when we started working with the children one-on-one?
Thank you so much, Utheri. It's amazing. When we came, I met the kids myself, and I told my wife, it's not possible that children will have all this kind of education and still they lack something. There is something they are lacking. And that is why you can find a medical doctor from Kenya or Africa country come to the UK and will be degraded to become a clinical nurse. Because, or even lower.
There'll be reception.
There was one I saw. There was one I saw working in McDonald's, and it's a doctor with first class. We started to ask ourselves, what is the cause of this degradation of our humanity as Black people? Then I began to feel and see the children that I'm interacting with. These kids lack confidence, but they are intelligent. This kid lacks something that drives transformation. And I started to tell my wife, we need to do something about it, because it's not that Africans were not clever. We are, but there's something missing. So we started a mentorship program to help to boost the morale, the confidence of these children. But as God will have it, as we dived into this mentorship program, we started to see the importance of identity. We started to see children transforming. I mean, those kids who were not doing well academically started to improve as we teach them the power of identity. These children begin to understand that they were not slaved born. These children begin to understand that education started from their roots. These children begin to understand that mathematics, which they cry in class, was created by a woman in Congo. And when they started to see these things with facts, I can tell you the confidence of these children went ablaze. So starting the mentorship program was a boost. And then we got the blessing of the government, and we were able to now start what we call the Children in Freedom School. We have grown. Right now we have the ability to confidently say we can see the impact of our work. Children who have no confidence to create, to implement, to innovate because of what we teach them, not maths and English, it will take you nowhere. But understanding who you are, you can become even the president. Because why? Mansa Musa did not go to class to sit down and solve maths and physics, but he was the richest man in the whole world today. Because why? He understands a small aspect of financial business, selling gold and salt. We can do better than that. So what we are lacking is what we are teaching children. In our school today, we are infused, not only understanding the cultural background of the children, the identity, but teaching these children what we have in Africa. Nobody, it has caused a lot of turmoil, because if you go to some universities, for example, you are wondering why some people are studying BScom. In a university in Africa, they are studying French. For what? Are you understanding me? In a university in Africa, why should we not study gold? Why should we not study diamond? 3 years ago, there was a story in Zimbabwe. Children were naked, throwing stones to each other, and they were playing and singing the songs, and we are very happy people. And the tourist from Germany was passing, and this stone hit the vehicle of this tourist vehicle, this green tourist vehicle, and they came down angry, insulting, very fierce, and he looked at the stone. It was a big diamond. He looked at the children, canceled his trip, went back to Germany, and what he came back to give our Black children was second-hand clothes. There is something that we need to learn. We are born multi-billionaires, and our children, Black children, need to know this. We have mountains of resources. The time has come. What are you teaching the babies? Because those are the people who will transform our generation. What do they know? Why are they not mining our resources and using it for our benefit? Why is Nigeria not having light, and yet we have uranium? There is so many things.
One of the greatest oil producers.
And we have so much
We
oil,
have no
and
light,
yet
no electricity.
today we are still using the constitution from England in all English-speaking countries, including Kenya. things have to change. Things have to change. The children in Africa must sit down. We have to educate them what they need to learn, how they need to focus their education. We have been miseducated. No more chamber belt education. No more chamber belt education. People are tossed into universities to study nonsense, and they come out with a paper to look for job. It should stop.
But you know, they don't know that they're just going to get a paper. Because once you don't know who you are, you don't know your identity, you don't have the skill and the sensitivity to have a meeting with yourself and really know what you're supposed to do in this life. You're just in the conveyor belt. Africans, we are in the conveyor belt of an education where you'll just get a certificate, an education that is very much founded on colonial aspects. So we are just there. Okay, you're good in maths. Let's continue. You are good in this. Let's continue. At the end of the day, you graduate with this certificate. There are no jobs. You're either going to do something totally different from what you studied, or you don't even know what to do with your life. It just still boils down to identity. When you know who you are early, you're able to make decisions for yourself and for your community, become the change maker, even within your family, because your parents are our generation. As we've received a very colonial education, you can tell even by how we speak English. This is a very colonial set education. And you become that child, the Azias, the Abduls, they become the change makers within their communities, their families, their friends. Imagine there's another way. Africa is great like this. You people are important like this. Without you, there's no world. That's why we are called motherland. If you plant a seed in this child and it becomes the culture, it shouldn't be a one-day affair, or today is our annual culture day. Today is, I don't know what, Africa Day. Then after that, we forget. Children don't even understand. They don't link. They don't, weave all this African culture and activities and practices to themselves. They don't know why are we doing these things. That's how I was, so I can speak. We would do so many things. I think I wore my first African print. I must have been in second year in my university. Because we employ teachers who have nothing African in their home, nothing African in their wardrobe. So we are so colonized in a way that has become our culture. And what Freedom School is doing and consciously doing is every day decolonizing. It starts even with me. I have to decolonize. I have to keep querying myself. And then it can trickle down to our partners who are the teachers, the staff members, and then to the children who every day. And remember, these children have not lived long enough to be really colonized. So we are now preparing a generation that we believe one day do not need decolonizing, do not need damage control. They will be strong Africans wherever they are. If anyone tries to tell them something negative about themselves, they have facts. They say, what are you talking about? Do you know we supply the world with this and that? Do you know that because of us, the world is standing? Do you know that you have facts? You're so full of yourself and so full of the truth, not lies. Why Africans are not standing for themselves is because the lies have become the truth for them. So you even second guess. I've been in high-level meetings where the African team doesn't speak up because yes, you do have ideas, but remember who you are. You don't feel good enough. I don't think I know more than this one who is coming from a country that colonized me, a country that has given me books to read, that has given me the kind of education I have, a country that is giving us money, paying our salaries through that money. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I know enough like that, but that's a lie. We own who we are, who we really are once we know the truth. So the Afro-Centric curriculum that we are implementing in Freedom School is one of truth and exposure. And when these children, once they are strong in themselves, that they can go out there and change the world without feeling they have to change themselves first.
Yeah, I really like that. For us in Freedom School, education is only two things. Number one, exposure, and number two, the truth. Even if your child did not know how to do maths, physics, chemistry, or whatever, but your child grew up in an environment of truth, he will become a king. If your child is exposed to everything right, the child will do well in life. The ability of someone to tell you to dress in a certain way and then they tell us to put tie is a colonial way of dressing, because that was how they showed us how to put chains in our neck, and it was called a tie. That is why Africans should rethink their code of dressing. They should rethink the code of, how your demeanor. If actually we are the sons and daughters of God, we should represent ourselves as a dominion of our Father. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, guys. That was powerful, man. That was powerful. That was powerful. I don't know what to say to that, bro. Both of you took the words out of the mouth. This is basically what we're doing on this platform. It's decolonizing people's minds, letting people know that there's nothing as Alkebulans that we cannot do. The moment we embrace,
Yes.
open our minds and look at the capability and where we've come from as a people. Alkebulan means mother of mankind. That's why we use that name. We are there. We were there before any other. So that means we were capable. We had
Yes.
everything we needed. But these things were basically taken away from our minds to make us feel so little.
Yeah.
So, like freedom in school, your school's doing, it's about time that we start decolonizing. Like you said, the kids are not even colonized yet. So we need to start them young, bring them up the way that they
Yes.
should be, as truly, fully fledged, authentic, historical driven, go-getting Africans. And I love what you just said, guys. Unduku, you want to say something before we bring the kids on board?
Yes, two things. You said just now, the one thing I just added now as you were saying the children are not even colonized. Yes, they're not, but remember we're still in a neo-colonial state. So there's
Yeah,
still
Mike.
colonialism
Mhm.
going on. And the media, the Western media especially, is still propagating those false narratives that continue to mentally
Unduku, you're not loud. You need to
I
be
think
louder.
they can hear me. Can you hear me?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go on.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
So, let me just adjust my mic. You can all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
All
You
right.
just yeah.
So,
Increase them.
part of the work is also to constantly tell the children, make them aware that
You
they're
need to increase
actually.
your volume. Sorry, sis. You need to increase your volume a little bit. It's a bit slow. It's a bit
All right. Let me find myself to increase my volume.
Slow.
it's slow. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's all the way down. I don't know
Okay,
how that happened.
that's better.
Yeah.
I
It
can hear
was
you loud and clear.
all the way down. Yes.
Okay.
So part of the work is also to empower the children with the knowledge that there are forces that are intentionally at work constantly to put them in a place of subjugation, right? So that they can, as they learn who they are and as they stand proud in who they are, they're aware that there are forces that are working against them, and they build defenses, mental defenses and physical defenses against these forces. So that's part of it. The other thing I was going to say is, as Utheri was talking about the meetings, right? And us in these Western spaces where we are in meetings with these white folk, Wazungu. And I actually was going to talk about it based on my experience, where for a long time I worked in this space for 7 years, and for a long time I would go into the meeting and just be quiet, sitting on the side, because we had a table, chairs at the table, and then chairs on the wall, and I'd be the one sometimes first at the meeting, but I'd go sit at the wall because I was like, okay, I'm not qualified, I don't know much, I can't speak to this, will they let me speak? I did that. After 5 years, I would get there early and I would sit right at the center of the table, because I realized by being in that space with them, some of them were the most, excuse me, children, dumbest people ever. And it didn't make a difference that they had white skin, right? And I was intelligent. I had ideas. I was just as much worthy of being in that space as they were. So I'm glad that the children are being raised knowing that, so that they can avoid that traumatic experience of being marginalized and feeling inferior that we have had to go through and actually fight against. So this is good work.
Yeah. Okay. What we're gonna do now? If you want to
And
let
I
the kids
think
go.
just to
Okay.
add on to that, what we
Yeah.
teach.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on, Utheri.
No, that's
Yeah, go on.
fine. No, I just wanted to say what we teach them. Yes, what we teach them is they are Afrocentric and global. And indeed, so many of my friends from Europe, America support the work that we do. So there's always someone from Europe, someone, some Caucasian person coming to visit the school, and they see me together with these people. And I tell them, as long as people are supporting the work that we are doing, that Africans need to know who they are, love themselves, and as just great, okay, if not greater than others, then we are fine. So when they meet them, and they'll meet them in those meetings, and they have been. Last year we had a group of 40 students from Netherlands coming to live with us here for a week, and they loved it. Yes, they loved it. And what our children learned, the same thing as you said, it's exposure. You learn, but the African is taught that they are lesser than, but actually when you engage and you're exposed to people, you realize, I even know more than them. I can even do it better, or we can work together, we can cooperate. But without that exposure, the lie continues. The lie continues.
Yes.
Yeah. So I agree with Nduko. So over to you, Oladele.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, if you wanna help the kids and let them tell us their experiences in your school. Let's go. So you can help out Utheri with that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe I can ask Azia and Melek. Azia and Melek, hello, are you there? What has been, maybe I can ask Azia, what has been let's start with the baby. What has been your experience being in an Afrocentric school, being at Freedom School? How do you feel?
You're muted, love.
I've unmuted her. She's fine.
You're muted. Azia is
Yeah,
muted.
I've unmuted them, so they should be okay.
Okay.
Let's give them a minute.
It's frozen.
All right, you can talk now. Baraka, songa kidogo upande mwingine.
Azia?
Like that.
Did she hear you?
Why can't we hear her?
I think
I
she's
can hear the
muted.
mom, but I can't hear her.
No, we were hearing Baraka's mom, I think.
Yeah, it's not muted.
I don't know. It's not muted. Azia and Melek, say hello. Can you hear us?
She's speaking, but we can't hear her. Look at your phone and make sure you're unmuted, Azia.
Okay, maybe as they sort that out, I can jump to Abdul and Nadia. Maybe you can share about your experiences of being in an Africa-centered school.
Okay. First, it's an Afrocentric school, meaning that it aims at reestablishing the past former African rule, hierarchy, and greatness of Africa, regardless of what former colonialists are saying about us Africans. Secondly, the school boosts my confidence and pride because I feel rooted when I'm seen, and I feel rooted and grounded that I'm seen with my beautiful African skin, and I'm around with other children who are like me, so we can interact easily, and I'm also armed with all the tools to make a difference in this world. The school has also taught me some extracurricular activities or other skills because I started coding when I was grade 3, and this has helped me in developing websites and games which I earn income through. and that has helped me to adapt to this.
Amazing. I can't, Oladile. I'm not gonna help myself. Today I'm not waiting for you to call on me when I have a feeling. I'm moved. It's just to see an African child, given all the maafa we've been through, just sit there and explain to us, oh, I can build this, I'm earning an income, I'm doing website app. Like
Yep.
So wonderful. Did Nadia want to add anything so that we can move to another group?
It is an Afro-Centric school. This is where we do events and other activities. Some events are like cultural day. This is where you describe about your culture and wear your cultural clothes, and you can have an opportunity to carry cultural food.
Cultural food. I like that.
So we have different families, different cultures must bring their food in this cultural day event. And that has become part and parcel of our school. And it's it's a family picnic, it's a school picnic of African foods.
Nadia, what's your favorite food that you bring for that day?
Anjera.
Injera, yes. Anjera. See, she's correcting me. She's making sure I say it right. Good for you. These kids, they have no problem with.
She even wrote it.
Confidence.
She wrote it there, Angera. She put it on the
Everyone,
private chat.
Nadia is letting us. This is how. No, that's how it's spelled. Get it right.
Can I ask Nadia? She's a Borana, but she has working knowledge of Luo. Nadia, why are you interested in learning Luo?
Because I want to learn more about other people's culture.
Has it made you feel more aware or more closer? That's the word, to the Luos.
Yes.
Sorry, who said that?
Someone is eager to say something. No, that's
okay. Who's that?
What's this?
Liban. Hi, Liban. How are you?
So we do various languages. The reason why we decided to do various languages, there was a tribal war in Kenya. I think you're aware of that. And if you can speak Kalenjin at some point, yes, when those who are Kalenjins are coming to kill the Kikuyus, for example, and you speak Kalenjin, you will not be killed. So invariably, teaching these children other languages is a life-saving skill. It's also a unifier that brings people together. When I speak your language, I become your brother or your sister automatically. And these kids speak the language very fluently. And that's what we want for our African children. Yes, let's go to Gumi.
All right, Gumi and Saku, welcome back. Maybe we can ask you about your thoughts and your experience of being in an Afrocentric school. Who's that? Loho and Leban?
Let's let Azia and Melek. Azia and Melek. Azia was saying something.
Okay. Wait, let's go to Azia. Have you gotten your volume back?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's go to Azia and Melek. Azia, can you tell us about how it is to be in an Africa-centered school, and then you can invite your brother.
And what class are you?
I am at PP2. Children in Freedom School has inspired me to be an African child. And Africa is the best because the school
Yes, it is.
teaches me about children, about Ubuntu.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Anina Ubuntu means I am because we are.
Wow.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Very good, Azia.
Thank you, Azia.
Yeah.
Melek,
Hi, Achil. My name is Melek. I'm 7 years old. My class is Namdi Azikiwe. Namdi
Wow.
Azikiwe was the first president of Nigeria. He ruled Nigeria very well.
Wow.
And Children in Freedom has inspired me to become an African child, to love myself, to love my people, and to
Yes.
love my culture.
Yes.
Tell them, let
Absolutely.
them know.
Brilliant.
Yes.
you must start now.
I'm
You
actually,
must start early, and we've got
I'm
this.
emotional. I'm emotional, man.
You must
Wow.
start early.
Yes.
So there's difference when Okwe and I talk, but when the children speak, that's where the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You see the power in
Exactly.
it. Exactly. And Asia, Asia, are you now 5 or you're still 4?
I'm 4.
You are 4 years. Asia
Wow.
was our master of ceremony on our culture day. So as long as you know who you are, you can stand in front of thousands of people and speak. It was amazing. All right, let's go to Gumi and Saku. There's someone needs to be muted.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute.
Mute them, yeah.
I just
mute.
muted.
Yeah, just mute. Okay, Gumi and Saku, would you like to speak about your experience in being in our school?
Okay, let me first introduce myself. I'm Gumi Garma, grade 8.
Gumi,
Your volume,
come close.
Gumi.
The volume is. Let me see. I'll turn it up. I'll turn it up for them. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Try
my
Gumi.
name is Gumi, Children in Freedom School, Kola of grade 8. And I'm 12 years old. So, in Children in Freedom School, it's quite exposing. Being in an Afrocentric school, it is really exposing. The Afrocentric school is what brought out my confidence. Children in Freedom School is what brought out my confidence, all my interest. It has exposed me to everything, practically everything I know and I do, everything I love doing, everything I'm interested in is all brought out by Children in Freedom. I was never interested in coding. I never knew something like coding existed. Children in Freedom School exposed me to that. I never knew I had a talent for swimming. Children in Freedom School has exposed me to that and other multiple sports. So it has also brought out my confidence. For as I was once a shy kid, but Children in Freedom School brought out my confidence. I think an Afrocentric school is one of the best schools that you can ever be in. And I'd like to thank Children in Freedom School for giving me this opportunity of exposure in life.
Thank you.
Gumi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Well done.
Gumi.
Thank you.
Saku unamcheka na kuona. Haya basi Saku,
Saku?
tujulishe.
My name is Saku and I'm in class 5. Children in Freedom School has really helped me. It's not about just learning the studies, it's also about sports. And I never knew I was good at swimming. I've gone for many competitions and I've gained my confidence.
Can I ask them a question? And this can be answered by Gumi, Abdul, even Amwenya. How has it impacted even your academics? Because one of the things that when we started, people feared is, oh, that's that school that is so much about culture. It's even they relax. It's called freedom. There's so much freedom to
we call them
life.
Negropeans. We call those people Negropeans. Yes.
But how are they going to still be able to perform academically, which is important? So children, how has it impacted your studies?
Who
Your
wants to go
performance.
first?
So as for me, it brought out. So I used to like only be very dull, and that affected my mental health a lot. And I was never interested in studies at all. So when I came to Children in Freedom School, I was introduced to so many new things. Their method of teaching is one of the best I ever seen. So it teaches in such a manner that a student is able to understand well. So I think Children in Freedom School is what brought out my intelligence and my lively nature.
He's only 12 years old, and
I know.
he's one of the best Python programmer in the school. Python, I hope some of you know Python. Right now, we are teaching them Python in school, and majority of them are developing games, developing applications for the next generation. We look forward to you guys doing great things. Thank you so much, Gumi.
We look forward to working with you for you to help us build video games. We have ideas. We cannot wait to say that we were helped by Gumi and Abdul and Saku and Nadia to build our video game. Looking forward to that. Saku, did you have anything else to say? No? What's your favorite food for the event, the multicultural event? Unapenda chakula kipi zaidi? Pilau, mimi pia. Pilau. Ah, Melek pia anapenda pilau.
Yes, and matoke too.
I love matoke too with the bananas.
Bananas.
Yes, I love
Very
matoke
nice.
too. Vizuri.
Rice
With rice, me
and
too.
meat.
And meat. Which meat?
Game on. Beef.
Beef, nyama choma?
Yes.
Me too. I love nyama choma. Haya basi. Oladele.
Yeah. Some of the girls have the guys in the middle haven't gone yet.
Nyamwenya and Baraka?
Yes, Nyamwenya and Baraka, they can say something. Nyamwenya, how is it being in an Afro-centric school? And even Baraka can say something. And you can tell us your age as well.
Okay. So my name is Namwenya. I'm in grade 6, Patrice Lumumba, and I'm 11 years old.
Wow.
What I like about my school is our attire, what we wear, and it deals with self-determination, knowing
Yes.
us as Africans. And before I came to this school, I was very shy, like dull, not in the center spot. But now we are taught to have courage, and we're encouraged to have the confidence that we can even lead a speech somehow. Also, all of our classes are named after African icons, like mine, Patrice Lumumba, and my brother's in PP1 is named after Madikizela Mandela, who was a South African activist and a politician.
Wow.
And
What other name does she go by? Madikizela Mandela.
yeah.
What other name does she go
and
by?
Also known as Winnie Mandela.
Tell them. Yes.
And we have amazing teachers in our school, and also our director, Teacher Oku, and our principal, Teacher Baby. I love them so much.
I noticed you love them. I saw how you were interacting with them. Very, very good. Very, very
Love
good.
it, yeah.
Baraka, you want to come to the camera, step in so that we can hear from you?
Like this.
Come in.
That's it.
There
They
you
got
go, with your sharp haircut. Yes, let's hear it. Paul,
My name is Baraka.
How old are you, Baraka?
4.
4 years.
Say you're in PP1. I'm in PP1.
What's the name for PP1? The other name for PP1 is what?
Madikizela.
Tell us anything you want to tell us about the school. Don't wait for anyone to ask you a question or tell you what to say. Look at us here look at the phone, Baraka, and tell us anything you want to tell us about the school. Tell us what you want to tell us about the school.
No, look at the camera. I love being Asikar.
Baraka,
I love being.
you can also tell us what makes why do you think, or what do you think about Africans? What do you think about Africans and being an African?
We're strong
Mm-hmm.
and we are powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know.
We are going to have good melanin color.
Mm-hmm.
That makes us beautiful. Don't look at mom.
Just look at me. You're doing so well that we have beautiful melanin color that makes us beautiful.
Wow.
Do you love your melanin color?
Yes.
Yes, and you're beautiful. So we teach them to love their color, to love their skin, because at some point in life, someone will try to make them feel lesser than they are because of how they look. So we try to deal with that at the very onset.
Yes.
Yeah. I think there's a question there. I don't know if you've seen Ola from Michael.
Yeah.
And Oku is a software engineer. He'd be able to answer that.
Oh, okay.
Where is the question?
He said, I'm interested in knowing what other computer programming languages that are being taught. Okay. So, yes. So they've done Java. Yes. Gumi, I want the student to tell you themselves. What programming languages have you done?
From the past, even.
From the past.
Even Abdul.
Please increase the volume.
Oh, where is he? Let me see. Why does it keep going down? All right, there we go.
Yeah. So I've done Java.
Look at you at 12.
For Java, I think I'm quite well versed in it. For HTML, I've touched a little bit on it. Python is the one we are currently doing. And as for the other classes, for the lower classes, also doing HTML. I don't know. I think I plan to do C++ too soon. Once I complete the Python course.
Nice, nice. So, Gumi, you can build me a website?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. You're
Yes.
12 years old and confidently saying to me, I can build a website.
Confident. I love it.
I would like to add on what he said.
Yes.
There's also, we have done something that's called block programming with our apps such as Scratch, EduBlocks. This is where you take blocks and create a code with them to make, let's say, a certain object move. And I've also gone further and gone into automation. There's an app called Zapier that you can use. It can be used in robot building, where we were shown our school had some visitors from IEEE who came to show us robotics, VR, and some other programming languages. Thank you.
Wow.
I look forward to connecting you, Utheri, the school with the organizations here in the diaspora in the United States, the Ubuntu African organizations here. So many. We need to connect you all. You all need to be working together and sharing.
There is a lot. There is a lot out there.
That would really, that is so welcome. Because one of our dreams is that these children start connecting with the world, even earning early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Using technology. The world is so going technology. It's shocking what AI is now doing. The other day we were listening to one that is now doing Afrobeats. So we're like, my God, where are people gonna be? And you can imagine, maybe I can fairly say, if not 95% of Africa is not even up to speed with what's happening in the world. So we'll always be left behind. What we are doing at Freedom School, when you say Afro-centric, it's not just learning about your mother tongue and your culture. Is now, once you have sorted identity, preparing this child to take over the world, to be as good, if not better, than their counterparts in the world. So you must be number one in technology. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. So you can see where they're at even at this 12 years old.
So for those of you in the audience listening, you're starting a business, you have a need to connect. For those of you who have contracts in China, go ahead and cancel them and start your contracts in Africa. I listen, I have no shame in saying that we need to, first of all, support home before we go support outside. So you're a business owner, you need a website. Now you don't have to look on Google. You can reach out to the Utheris and they'll connect you with what they have there, and the children can start earning for themselves, their families, and for the school. So yes.
Can I say that this year's project is that all children, at least from 8 years and above, must learn how to build a website. We've decided it's a life skill.
Yes.
So all these kids are learning HTML, and you must know how to put together your website. You should never pay in future for someone to do that for you. It's a life skill.
Brilliant. Love it.
It is. Right now, we started our organization, Mbongi ya Ubuntu, and we need someone to build our website for us. I cannot do it, so we need someone to do it for us. It really is important in this age of communicating online. You need a presence for your organization. You need a presence for your business. If you're doing something that you want to connect with people across borders, yeah, you need that presence. And yes, it is a life skill. Agreed.
Okay.
Very, very good.
There's a question there, guys. Can you say it?
It's not a question, it's a comment to me to ask them to speak on, yes, the historical concept of Uhuru schools. It's the same thing, freedom schools. Uhuru schools created in 1960s US to orientate so-called Black people Afrocentrically. I'll say to Baruti, please be more specific as to what you want us to address, and then we can address it. But for now, please be more specific. Asante.
Okay. Before we go any further, because of time, I want you guys to talk about your curriculum in specific. Let people know what your curriculum is about. What are you offering? Because this is the key in terms of Afrocentrism. So, what's the curriculum? What is it made of? Well, you know.
Oladele.
Yeah.
Also, there was one family that didn't get a chance to speak. If they come back, let's give them a chance. They're not. They just dropped off. Yeah, but when they come back, let's give them a chance.
Yeah. Okay. We missed them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about your curriculum, please.
So we follow the Kenyan curriculum for now, but it can be any other curriculum. You can be doing even an international curriculum, but now you add value by Afrocentric practices and maybe exposure. So what we now do is, for example, bringing in material that's not in the curriculum, like the true African histories, especially the positive ones, our African icons who have been innovators, our contribution to the foundations of the world, from being the first on earth to being the mothers of the world. So, I mean, if you Google even the first person, I think the first person in the UK is well known, and put there, and you see it's a Black person. So we teach them those edifying stories. We show them a lot of images and videos of their people who have done great things. We infuse in teaching this kind of stories. So you could be teaching math, but you also include the story of a great math person, or it could be any edifying African story, okay, of our culture, of our resources in Africa. You can start, it just takes 5 minutes to start your lesson with a great story, or you can infuse it in your teaching. That's why I'm saying it's become part and parcel. We don't just say 40 minutes per day to talk about Africa. It's just who we are, how we dress. You can see how the children are dressed. That is what we call our uniform, which is just a very colonial term to dress people so that they are the same uniform. It doesn't work like that. We are never uniform. Everyone is different. Changing stories, edifying local languages. So you must learn your mother tongue just as much as you're learning your English. You must learn another local language, which is not yours. Because I tell them, we speak English, we're not Englishmen. We speak French, we're not Frenchmen. Why don't you speak Luo if you're not Luo? Why don't you speak Yoruba if you're not Yoruba? You know, that kind of thinking. So it's It's a very creative and it's endless. It doesn't have any boundaries on how the Afrocentric curriculum can be implemented. Right now, we have partnered with an organization in Nigeria called Unveiling Africa with a project of family roots, where we are learning our family histories up to the fourth generation. So we are going back. Children are going back. Who is your grandfather, great grandfather, great great, like that? The
Sankofa.
names. What did they used to eat? Where did they used to live? What were their houses like? Where did they used to live? That kind of thing. So I think it's very broad how you can define an Afrocentric curriculum, but anyone with the heart for Africa can start implementing Afrocentric activities and practices wherever they are. And then have to be a school. It can be in your home. It can be in the hospital with your friends, with your patients there. You can be telling them African stories, that kind of thing. We use our African name, even if we have the baptism name or Christian names or what, which is also quite colonial, but we just very consciously bring Africa and the culture to the top.
Nice.
So it's a difficult question to answer, but that's what it's. I think I've tried to tell you something about that, what you do. There's something that's been added there, and I didn't want to miss it, about the impact, because it was by Michael. Michael posted a question about. Or did you want to add something? Oh, Michael wanted.
How about teaching style? How do you get the children to coordinate structured learning?
He said, if you look at 1946, there was a question he asked. Specify what has been the impact since 2018. It's very important, because we are the minority, and impact kind of validates that, oh, wow, you mean these people know what they are doing?
Yeah.
So I could say one of the greatest impacts is the children's confidence and knowing who they are, as you can see here. It would be very difficult to bash these kids in future. So you can be the best mathematicians, but if you don't love yourself and if you don't feel good enough and strong and proud, you're going to be bashed.
Yep.
And people are going to steal your ideas, and you're going to be clapping for them, and you're going to go home crying and saying, oh, I should have spoken, I should have done this, but you didn't, because you don't feel good enough. So number one is the confidence, knowing, and then the Ubuntu. We've had visitors, Europeans, coming to our school and saying, oh my God, no one is running to try and touch us. No one is even noticing that we are there. You know, this school has dignity. You know, now when you hear that, that's a clap for us, because we live in it, so we are blind to it. Yeah. But when outsiders come and say, well, this is a very different school. These people don't care that Muzungu has come into the school, and they love it. They're like, whatever you're doing is really bringing dignity. And that's when we realize Afrocentrism, to really say you've got it, you must change the behavior and put the firm identity of loving yourself. It doesn't matter. You can call yourself an African name, but you're the most Eurocentric person ever. You can do some. You can dress like Oku, but you're just dressing because it looks beautiful. You have nothing to do. You're not tied into the culture. So just the fact that identity-wise, that these children are children of dignity, they're children of Ubuntu. That's wonderful. Even the discipline system in the school, it's the children who will tell you off if you let them down. They'll tell each other off. They'll not wait for a teacher to walk in to say, this should not be done, this should not go on. So we are each other's police. You know, we don't have to wait for that colonial way where there was a leader, someone put up here. And yet the traditional African way was we sat together, we corrected each other. It was such a shame if you let your group down, if you let your team down. That comes with identity. That's why we are hammering identity. Know who you are, know how great you are, and you'll stop fooling around. You'll stop feeling bad about yourself. Oku, you wanted to add?
No, I'm so excited just listening to you. I'm Ginger Dog. The school, when it comes to Ubuntu, I like what she just said, is the kids when you come in as a new student to the school, we don't indoctrinate you. It is automatic, because change comes from what you see, not what you are told. Change comes from what you see. When you see a class of out of 100%, 99% are intelligent, within 2 weeks you will become intelligent. If you see a class of 32 children, all of them are behaving excellent, nobody will tell you that it's time for you to change your bad behaviors. Are you getting me? So I love that Ubuntu in the classrooms.
Can I add that now in academics, because then out there they're going to judge us on how we perform. In the national, we've done 2 national primary education certificate exams, and we've done very well. Our first one was in 2022, and our mean was 70%. And then we did last year, and I think that mean because 370 out of 500, someone calculated, went up. It was really good. And even the Ministry of Education, so the government, the curriculum development, they come to benchmark with us. We are really owned now. Like people initially were suspicious. What does all this Afrocentrism mean? Is it witchcraft? Is it something funny? And then now they're saying, no, the children are still getting the academics. In fact, they're well ahead. And then they're also learning their identity and embracing themselves. We don't have to lose. It's not either or. They're just getting even better and benefiting. So the impact has been amazing. The teaching style, someone asked about teaching.
Yeah.
The teaching style can only be very involving, very critical thinking. I don't go and tell Abdul everything. In fact, I could ask them to research for the topic in advance and come and even present. So you come with very creative ways to bring out critical thinking, engagement of children. It's a lot of project learning. These children do a lot of project learning. And then also our signature is early literacy. Remember, we are lifting Black children. We are lifting Africa. So majority of people can argue, oh, it's okay, a child can play up to 6 years old. Let them play like that in well-resourced, stable environment. But for a Black child who already
is behind,
the world has put us at the bottom, we must read early, we must do math early, we must just be ahead, we must fight. So we read even as early as 3 years. Asia, there, 4 years old, can write a simple story, can write a simple composition and do basic math. I think now they're even doing some form of multiplication. So the freedom curriculum is quite advanced because of our vision to lift Black children.
I'm glad
I've tried to touch on several questions.
I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna put out a call to action for my friend Asia, my sister Asia. Asia, I'm going to send my address to your teacher Utheri, and you can write me a letter in Kiswahili, okay?
Oh wow!
That you will send in the post office. I'm looking forward to reading it. Yes, I'm looking forward to reading it.
It shall be done.
Thank you.
Can I say, someone asked who is story writing for us? I would love to be connected to a wonderful writer. That's one of the ways. Whoever asked that question, or whoever is a brilliant writer, it would be wonderful to connect, because this story
there's a brother in that connection who's asking that question. So I'll link you up with that person. Somebody's already asking me how can you transcribe scripts and stuff like that.
The transcription, yeah, we can do the transcription of this. Let me know, Dugu Oladele, if you need me to connect you to that brother. If you're talking about Malcolm, if you're talking about
Michael, they were
Bakassi,
asking who's writing the freedom story. So if that is what they were also asking, would very much love to be connected with a wonderful writer. Yes. Some people are really skilled in writing.
Okay, just for time, guys, I'm just going to ask you guys, I know you're thinking big. I know you're trying to scale up. So use the opportunity, reach out to people. What kind of help? Where are you going with the school? What kind of help are you looking? How far do you want to go in Africa? Because we need what you're doing to actually be all over Africa. We need schools like this in every corner of Africa. So speak to people. How can we get this to the rest of the African continent? And how do you want to scale this up? And what kind of support do you need?
Okay. So we have a bigger than life vision, and it must be met. Must be met. So let me start with the smaller of the vision, the smaller aspect, which is right now we have kindergarten, primary, and high school. The high school is being hosted in the primary campus because we haven't yet raised the funds to build a high school, like a different campus. And it's really important to us when we had the vision to have, in the end, all levels of learning. We need to be able to understand ourselves, how it works, so that when we are scaling up, we know from experience. So if there's anyone out there who'd like to partner with us to build a high school, we already have the land. It's just to put up the building. That's really going to be helpful. And just how we are doing right now, it would be like a learning center of what's Afrocentric education in secondary school. Then in future, we can even have a fully fledged Afrocentric university, Pan-African, absorbing all these children from Africa, from the diaspora and the like. Now, the greater vision, and that's like I feel so strongly in my heart, my calling, is what we are doing at Freedom School, the Afrocentric curriculum, to reach all the children of Africa, regardless of where they are. That schools, it's about time we stop saying that we are following a colonial education. It's ridiculous that with all the brains and all the power that we have, that what's happening in Children in Freedom is in Children in Freedom. The school only has 300 children. Africa has hundreds of millions of children. So for us to scale up, we need to package what we are doing so that we can reform other schools where we can teach or train teachers, give them manuals on how to follow, what to do, continue in servicing them. And so it's a huge dream, which would start with a pilot with a couple of schools, maybe in Kenya, then grow in Kenya, and then scale up to other countries. To be able to provide this for free for others, we need funding. We need funding, and there's someone there in the audience who can just click. And the best funding can even come from somebody who just understands what we are doing. Right here in your heart. I mean, I can see Oladele, I can see Nduku. If you had the millions, I don't have to convince you further. You already know this is it. You understand? That's the kind of person I'm looking for. One, I don't have to beg and try to convince. I don't want to convince you. I want a like-minded person. You have the funding, we have the ideas and the capacity to implement ideas. Let's partner. So if you can connect us with that like-minded person or organization, that's what we are calling out for.
So our brother Baruti Katembo, he clarified this. Are you both familiar, Utheri and Uku? Are you both familiar with the Uhuru movement, the Uhuru schools in the in the 1960s in the United States? Were you inspired by that movement to start the Children's Freedom School?
No, we are not familiar with them, but now we can look them up. What inspired us, as Oku had shared earlier, was when we came on the ground and we met children with very low self-efficacy. And we've packed our bags, quit our jobs, and we're like, my God, we didn't risk our lives for this. So what do we need to do to get them where we need to get them? And we didn't even have so much where to refer, but we used Google was our friend, and we started getting all these Afrocentric stories coming in. More than maybe just following like Uhuru schools, we have learned a lot from Afrocentric friends and colleagues. And I think that's how we've taken one step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Then we have this offer to you, given your call to action. They would love to write about your story at
I think
Ogaledi,
Oga lady. It's a Nigerian
Ogaledi.
term. It's a Nigerian term.
So the Language Afrique would also love to partner with you. So just follow Chinelo Ntagu, Utheri, and send her a message. She's inviting you to do that, to connect with you on writing your story. And let us know, because Mbongi ya Ubuntu, which I'm a member of, we publish, we distribute. Once you write that story, let us know and we will market it and tell everyone about it.
Can we also put our email in the chat?
I was gonna ask you that. Give us all your contacts.
Could you also? Okay, should I just send it here on private chat? Then you will
put it
you'll put it there. I get you. So let me just put our info.
So as far as the Uhuru movement, it's the Uhuru movement in the 1960s in America.
And I wouldn't forget that name. It's very Swahili.
To this day, they have a lot of Uhuru schools, a lot of Africana schools, which is why I said I'll connect you with the ones I know, because we all need to start connecting and stop being in our silos, unite as a united front, doing this work together.
We also need exchange programs among Afrocentric schools.
Yes.
So, for example, I said we had some children visitors from the Netherlands last year, 35 of them. But we are not going to go to the Netherlands for a trip, not yet. We want to go to an African space. It could be anywhere. It could even be in the UK or in the US, or it could be here in Africa. It could be in Ethiopia, Egypt, Ghana. But we want to visit an African space before we now start going elsewhere. Of course, the neo-colonial way, all of us really go to London. We want to go to New York. We visit other people, but we don't have that tie, that relationship and partnership with our own people to engage and know how is it being an African in Africa? How is it being an African in London? So I would love to visit like Black families in London, Black families in New York, in Canada, and all that, and get to share experiences.
We were talking about, and this is something we were saying on the side, but I'm not one not to talk about what we're planning. We were talking about inviting you for our event in September, Mbongi ya Ubuntu. So I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you to collaborate with what we are doing, because part of what we are doing is healing our youth, bringing them into reclaiming who we are. And also we've lost the rites of passage that we used to have that prepare youth for adulthood. Our youth are being thrown into adulthood without preparation, right? And they're not equipped with the protocol, with the way of being that grounds them. And a lot of them are dealing with a lot of mental health issues. So I want to work with you on doing all that, and just to continue telling this story so that it is known everywhere and it reverberates and all Africans know about it. So I'm going to connect you also with the Young African Leaders Forum so that you can work with them. Yes, we're definitely connecting you with multiple organizations, for sure.
Fantastic.
Okay, so the contacts in the chat, we put the contact in the chat, the phone numbers there, the email address is there. So if you want to reach out to Utheri and Oku, please reach out to them.
And for
guys, go on.
Oladele, for the people who are on audio, if there's anyone on audio, the email is info@cifschool.sc.ke. And the WhatsApp number is +254 717 302 397. Because I know we have people on what we call the outlets for the audios.
Audible, yeah.
Audio, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, fine. Before I let you guys go, I just got a question for you guys, for both of you. What we do on our platform when we invite guests, we ask the previous speaker to give us a question for you guys who are coming on. So once you answer that question, we'll like a question from you as well. So the question was from Mama Kanye Shile from South Africa, and the question was, what is stopping Africa from adopting Kiswahili for all grade ones from 2025 onwards, from Cape to Cairo, from Morocco to Madagascar? Why are we citizens not rising up against English, French, Portuguese to make Kiswahili a reality? That's the question.
I want to jump in and hear that. I'm looking forward to the answer.
All right.
I am waiting.
You're waiting. Okay. From my point of view, what is stopping Africa are the kind of leaders and policy makers we have at the helm, that we give the power to rule us, because it is quite easy to have a unifying language. Europe speak, when they go to parliament, they speak their various languages, but there is a unifying language. The same thing in America. They use English. So we need to have a unifying language. If it's going to be Kiswahili, everyone has to come together and sit down. We were forced English into our mind and brains. We can also be forced to understand our traditional language that everyone will understand. So what is stopping us is our mentality, our mindset, our leaders, and ourselves.
And just because I am one of the people upholding Kiubuntu, erroneously known as Kiswahili, I'm going to give this spiel because it's one of the things that we're doing at Mbongi ya Ubuntu. So Kiswahili is erroneously called Kiswahili, named after the Swahili people. The Swahili people are descendants of the Arabic people who invaded the East African area. So they came to that area, had children with the people who are already there, and named these people the Swahili people. They then, the invaders then decided to name that language Kiswahili after those people. This language they call Kiswahili, which we now call Kiubuntu, existed before the Arabs ever touched the continent, way before the Swahili people were formed. So it is not Kiswahili, it is Kiubuntu. We're going to call it that. Why? Because we are the people of Ubuntu. Ubuntu exists from the south to the north, to the west, to the east. And therefore, moving forward, instead of Kiswahili, we will say Kiubuntu because it's ours. Number two, the language was created by groups, different groups of Bantu speaking languages. The evidence is in all the Bantu languages, from the south to the central to the east. You'll see in Kikamba, you'll see in Kikuyu, you'll see in Kosa, in Shona, in Kilingala. All those words, you can see them in Kiswahili. And what now in Kibuntu, sorry. What now we need to do is bring in words from our West African brothers and sisters, words from Twi, words from Yoruba, words from Igbo, so that this language can be our united language. The power in having a united language, the power in unifying in anything is that if I go to the UK, if I go to Nigeria, if I go to South Africa, if I go to the US, and I see my brother and my sister, I can speak Kibuntu and I know they know. I know they're one of us. The thing about our other languages, as important as they are, and I will say this also to emphasize, me learning Kibuntu since I was a child in Kenya never took away from my Kikamba. Never took away from my Kikamba. I speak Kikamba very fluently today. I speak Kikuyu. I said hello to Utheri when I came in Kikuyu because I went to school in Molo. So it never took away from learning all those other languages, but it gives me power. When I sit with my diaspora sisters and brothers here and we speak Kiswahili in our community, we're so much more empowered and we feel much more united. That's the power of having one language in Africa. So my brothers and sisters in the West who keep fighting and saying Yoruba is bigger than Kibuntu, Igbo is bigger than Kibuntu, please be quiet. Take a seat in the back and just embrace something that's going to unite us. Thank you.
We need to, basically, that's what Ubuntu is all about.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you know what, the difference, what's going to be the game changer is to put the idea into action. I think that's, for me, like I've decided my life, whatever it is that I want to see happen, I must make it happen. I must do it. So we can't keep just debating. Ubuntu must be part of the African curriculum. It must be the language of Africa. We must implement. And it goes in line with what we are saying. We want whatever we are doing at Freedom School, the Afro-Centric curriculum, to be scaled up all over Africa and all over the world, the same way that Ubuntu can come in through such a channel.
Do you know what I'm going to do as Mbongi Ubuntu, what we're going to do to connect with you? The one thing we're definitely going to collaborate on, you told us you have children who are learning tech. We need to build a database that shows this evidence of our languages. We need to build a database that's collecting all these languages and showing the similarities in words. So if we, Mbongi Ubuntu, can unite with you, children's freedom schools, to do just that one project, build a database where we can bring all these languages and show the commonalities, and then you can help us bring languages, words from the West. If that one project, we join together to build Kubuntu and show the similarities, I would love to do that. And I'll follow up with you after this on that. I will also, I will say, there's someone who's already done it in South Africa, so we can reach out to them and connect, and we'll work on that. But that's something we can definitely connect on, building a database.
Okay. We got these kids. Do you want them to speak? These
So
kids
Loho
down
and
there.
Yes,
Leban.
Loco and Liban.
Are you there? Can you hear us?
I forgot to say hello to in there.
Hello, Loho and Leban.
I can't hear.
Are you muted?
They're not muted on our end.
I think there's a delay.
Yeah.
There is. They've been having connection issues.
Yeah, they've been having
issues.
connection
They even
problems.
wrote on chat. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But we
But thank
see
you for
them.
yeah, we can see them. Thank you for coming, and sorry for the poor connection, but we
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Okay, before I let you guys go, we need a
Oladele,
question.
also,
Yeah,
before
go
you
on.
let them know, Loco
Yeah.
and Liban, if you have something you want to say it in the private chat and we'll say it out loud.
Okay.
So that way, at least you can be heard. So write what you want to say in the private chat and we'll share it with everyone. Oh, we can hear them.
You can hear them. Hello. You want to say something? Tell us about your experience in your school. No.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very delayed.
Loho, what
So
can
just-
you say about being in an Afro-centric school? Or Leban, both of you?
I
think there's a delay. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Please put your questions in the chat and we'll ask them. Yeah. Mama Loco and Mama Liban, if you can please, or Baba, please put the questions in the chat and we'll ask them. Or just their comments. Yes, please. The private chat, it says private chat. Oladele, it's all yours.
Okay, if you guys can just please, for our next guest who's coming on, what questions would you like to ask our next guest, please?
Roughly, what would they be talking about?
Okay, we just ask questions. You just post the questions to us. You don't know who's coming. We don't know who's coming. You don't know. So, what's in your thoughts? What's in your mind? What do you feel like asking? Talking about Ubuntu, talking about Afro-centrism, talking about building the Alkebulan. What questions are in your mind?
Okay, let me ask this. It's a little bit. My question is this.
Ask. We don't know what this is gonna be.
Why is he taking him?
Okay, here it comes. Is democracy actually good for Africa, or is it?
Leave it open.
Yeah.
Is democracy good for Africa?
No, but I like that end part. What was he going to say at the end?
I can't say it anymore.
He's going to bias the question.
Yeah, I don't want to bias.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's gonna bias the question. Let it be open.
That. You see that strong woman next to you, and then you as a man allowing her to speak and what she does for you.
That's how it is.
Powerful, yes.
So the question is democracy actually good for Africa?
Yes.
Okay. I love
actually
that.
good.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to hear what the children have to say. They have opinions. I want to hear. Oladele, I want to hear what the children have to say.
Yeah.
Children, is democracy good for Africa? Can we ask them, Oku and Utheri? Can we ask the question?
Yeah, of
children this
course.
question? All right.
Of course. Namwenya?
Anyone who wants to talk can unmute and talk. Is democracy good for Africa? And if you, whichever answer you give, explain, please. Haya, mnakataa kujibu swali. Kwani mnaogopa?
Watajibu.
Watajibu, naona Melek amejitayarisha.
Any of you guys want to answer that question?
Pardon?
Super.
Do you think democracy is good for Africa? And whatever answer you give, explain why. Is democracy good for Africa? Oh, look at them thinking. Let's give them some time to think. Give them a minute. Look at them thinking.
Maybe as a teacher, I should also make sure that they understand what democracy is.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, rephrase it.
Do you know what democracy is? Let's start from there. So democracy is when you choose a leader, people choose, Yeah. And then I think could we say the opposite of democracy is dictatorship?
No.
I fear, Utheri, that if you explain, you
will
might lose it,
Let me
right?
shut up.
Because
Thank
you know
for that.
why I say that? Because when democracy is explained, it's good, right? But it's the democracy
I
that
get
is
what you're
told.
saying.
The democracy, so they need to know that they
I've
need to have
gotten what
heard
you're
it,
saying.
right?
Yeah,
Have
you're
you
right.
have you all heard the word democracy? Who has heard the word democracy ever? Who has ever heard the word democracy? All right, good. So there we go. And when you've heard it, what do they say it is? Gumi and Namwenya. What do they say democracy is? Namwenya. You're muted, Namwenya. Let me unmute you. Let me see what I can. Okay, there you go.
Democracy is the freedom of choosing a leader, and and having freedom. Yeah.
Do you think we have that in Africa?
For some
Right.
countries.
For some countries. Okay.
Gumi, the way you understand democracy, do you think it's good or bad for Africa? The way you understand it and the way you see it being carried out.
So democracy, the main point of democracy is for it to be good, but in most African countries, democracy is corrupt. So as the way I see it, democracy is not exactly working well for African countries.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Don't
I
try
love that
us.
answer. That's deep. I like that. For a youngster, that's brilliant. Brilliant. Anybody else got an answer to that, guys?
Yes, we need.
We need democracy?
Yes.
Oh,
Why?
Why?
So that they can, the leader can help us. They can give us rules to follow.
All right.
Because
We
without-
need a session on
That's so
democracy.
sweet.
Mama Utheri, we
Children
need
are
a
so
session
sweet.
on we need a session on democracy at
Oh,
school.
this kids, I
Children
love it. I
believe in the
love it.
best.
I know.
Yeah.
That's a homework for you, Utheri and Oku. We need a session on democracy at school on Monday. ASAP. All right. they put a
Namwenya, why
question
don't
in
you
the chat.
say Namwenya, why don't you say what you've just written in the chat? What do you think whether and then give the answer? Very good. I don't want to say it for you.
Okay. Well, to me, I think democracy is not good for Africa because in Kenya, only 2 communities or languages have led it, and that sounds unfair. We should give other communities a chance to express themselves, and maybe you can find their good leaders than the others.
Hey, I know a Makamba. I could make a good leader.
Brilliant. So that means making leadership inclusive to everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay,
This
guys.
is a good topic, yeah.
It's a good
Yes,
topic for
it's
school.
a
We
very,
definitely, if you want to invite us, myself and Oladele will come virtually to teach. Yes, let's talk about the nuance of
I
democracy.
I think
I also
Abdul
have
wants to say
something.
something.
Yes, please, Abdul.
I think democracy is bad for Africa because, as Gumi said, it will lead to corruption, and corruption is what led to the post-election violence in 2007 in Kenya. And we had the seventh Secretary of the UN, Kofi Annan, to come and help us stop it. The reason to this, Kenyans are tribalistic, so they elect leaders from the specific tribes, which means they do not focus on the qualities of a good leader. That means it
Thank
will
you.
lead corruption in the downfall of the country. Thank you.
Boom.
That's
love
the
it.
democracy they sell
Brilliant.
to us, right? And
Thank
I
you.
will say, I will tell the children now, as someone who's living in the United
Thank you.
States, the United States, which is the big proponent of democracy, is not democratic. I'll tell you all children now. That description you gave of what democracy is not practiced in the United States. No. Not every voice in the United States can vote. Not every voice is represented. Not everyone is given equal rights. So the United States, which sells democracy to the rest of the world, is not democratic itself.
Brilliant.
All right, children.
Thank you very much, guys, for being
Aren't
here.
they
We
wonderful,
appreciate
these
you.
children?
They are wonderful, and you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We really appreciate you for coming on our show tonight.
Everyone,
Really,
the teachers,
thank you very
we
much.
wanna hear
Thank
about
you
the
for having
teachers
us.
too, Oladele, right?
Yeah. Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah. Tell us about your teachers.
Our teachers are amazing. I don't know if any one of them is in the audience, but they come in just like I did an education degree with in a, I can say, a neo-colonial context. So they come in. We select staff that have a spark for Africa, someone with enthusiasm, and then we keep in servicing them. You'll always get a refresher here and there on the Afrocentric curriculum that we are following, or the Afrocentric culture that we have in the school. They have become so good that we even have a leadership team. Oku and I have stepped back, and we have teachers who have grown now in leadership positions, head of innovation, the deputy principal, head of Afrocentrism, who are now running the show. So we are also leaving behind people who can also run Afrocentric schools, run Afrocentric entities.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Oladele,
Okay.
can I share something quickly?
Before I go, okay, go on, sis.
As I
Yeah.
was explaining about democracy, one of the children wrote in the private chat that they thought the United States was democratic, and it's nice to know that it's not. So this is the power of us sitting and talking with each other.
Yeah.
The children now know that what they are told about the United States is not true, and they know that from a fellow African, a fellow Mwana Ubuntu, who came to the United States and saw it with their own two eyes, saw people who look like us being shot on the streets by police for just looking like us, right? Saw people who look like us not allowed to buy houses in certain places. Saw people looking like us not given resources in their schools. There are places in the United States, children, if I take pictures right now, you will not believe it is the United States because of how badly developed it is. So yes, that's the power of us sitting and talking to each other. Oladele.
Can I just say that what you've just done, that's an Afrocentric education. It's an education for edifying Black children. No one is going to go, the West will not go around saying they're not democratic. In fact, they keep the narrative of how fair they are, but we know it's hypocritical. Only us can come and educate our children the truth, and they get it like this.
Yes.
And you see, now that's going to be like, if the US is not democratic, yet they are pushing for this and that, then why would we even be listening to them? Let's make our own policies and our own way of life that's good for us. That's the whole point of Afrocentric education.
Brilliant. Thank you, my sister. Thank you, my brother.
You see the comment there, Oladele, this person would like to contribute monetarily to support his efforts.
Yeah. So somebody said they'd like to contribute. Yeah.
We are all of us, myself, Oladele, Utheri, and Oku are all on LinkedIn. So find us there, follow us, ask us for further questions. I'm going to find their email and pin it right now for those of you who want it, and you can reach out to them. Oladele, give me a second to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I think as you're doing that, I just
Yeah.
want to appreciate even the parents who are on board, because we've
Yeah.
just gotten that. Susan, that's Mama Gilo. She has 3 children at the school. And it's not, she's just reminded us that it's not the children only who get the Afrocentric education. We try as much as possible to have 2 sessions a term for parents in different aspects and involve them in at least 2 to 3 engagements in the school. And then we always tell these children during our Ubuntu assembly, go and teach your parents. Go and teach your parents. So parents are also getting that exposure. So thank you very much, Susan, Mama Gilo, for speaking up. And I also saw Grace, Mama Sihoya. Thank you for being on board.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you everybody for being a part of our Alkebulan Awakening series today, and thanks for the Kumbu Kenny crew for being here today. And I'm just going to sum it up. When we're talking about African solutions, we have presented one to you today. For those who think it can't be done, we cannot do it. This is reality. Okay? Children in Freedom School are doing this in Kenya. So basically, we are decolonizing our mind by telling our own stories. So guys, when we're talking about us looking for solutions, this is a solution that we presented to you today. Please reach out to these guys. Let's build Alkebulan. Let's build Ubuntu. I am because you are because I am. We are one. We need to build together. And this is basically the solutions that we're presenting to you today, guys. So please do not come on my link and tell me we haven't got solutions, because we have got solutions now. But they will come on my LinkedIn page and telling me, oh, why are you not talking about solutions? This is a solution today. This Afro-centric education in Alkebulan. Reach out to these guys. Let's scale it up. Let's push this all over Africa. Thank you. Look what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say, you wanna ask the kids if they have something last minute thing to say? Any last words? The children? And we can start from Namwenyak all the way down.
Thank you for the successful interaction. I really enjoyed this meeting, for giving me the chance to express myself and to communicate with you. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Who wants to go next?
Melek.
Thank you for the meeting.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here with us. Asia, you have something to say?
No.
Gumi?
Okay, all I have to say is that I'd like to thank you all for giving us this opportunity, for giving us this Afrocentric exposure. I think it's really important, and what you guys are doing is great. It's important for the kids to know what's actually going on out there in the world, not just everything just being sugar coated.
Nice, Gumi. Saku, you have anything?
I'd love to say I really enjoyed it. It has made other learn a lot from this meeting, and that's all I have to say.
Asante. Abdul?
Thank you for giving me this exposure and experience. You helped me express my opinions and ideas to other people from other parts of the world, and I'm really grateful for what you are doing, because I know our greatness is going to change the world. Thank you.
Vizuri sana. Karibu. Nadia?
I have nothing to say.
That's okay. Thank you for being with us. All right, Oladele, it's all yours.
Yeah, thanks guys once again for being here. Please, everybody who's watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, follow us, connect with us. We're doing this for us to decolonize the minds of our people, man. We're doing this not for the sake of doing it, but we're just letting you all know that we can do this. There's opportunities, there's potential. We are capable. I don't want to hear people giving excuses. I don't want to hear it. I hear it all the time. We are our own solutions, guys. We can do that. Yeah. We don't need people from outside to build Africa for us. We are our own solutions. Believe in yourself. Make it happen, guys. thank you very much for your time. I really have loved this.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for having us.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for.
I'm gonna end the live stream, but you just stay behind the scenes and we just
Yes,
talk.
stay
We
behind.
appreciate it.
Children, don't go